I'm Mrs. Arnold, and today we are going to talk about earth science. So, therefore, the question of today's video: what is earth science? The essential questions we are going to focus on today is how do the areas of study within earth science compare? What are earth systems? What are the relationships among earth systems? And why is technology important? There are 5 areas of specialization within earth science. Some of these specializations are classes that you can take here at EHS, like astronomy and environmental science. Astronomy is the study of objects beyond Earth's atmosphere. The subspecialties of astronomy is astrophysics and planetary science. Astrophysics is looking at the physics of the universe. Including the physical properties of objects found in space. One famous astrophysicist is pictured here on this slide, and that will be, hopefully I don't misspell his name, Neil deGrasse Tyson. So he is a famous astrophysicist. The other subspecialty is planetary science, and that is looking at the planets of the solar system and the processes that form them. Meteorology is something that we're all familiar with because we all experience weather like flooding, lightning, tornadoes. Subspecialties of meteorology is climatology, which is looking at patterns of weather over a long period of time. So weather is going to be short-term and climate is going to be long-term. Sometimes people get confused about the difference between what climate is and what weather is. Atmospheric chemistry is also a subspecialty of meteorology. So atmospheric chemistry is looking at the chemistry of Earth's atmosphere and also looking at the atmosphere of other planets. So once again, meteorology is going to be the study of the forces and processes that cause the atmosphere to change and produce weather. Oceanography is the study of the Earth's oceans. Subspecialties: physical oceanography, which is looking at the physical characteristics of oceans, such as salinity, which is basically how salty it is, waves and currents. And then we have marine geology, which is looking at the features of the ocean floor, including plate tectonics of the ocean. And finally, we have environmental science. This is the study of the interactions of organisms in their surroundings. Subspecialties are going to be environmental soil science, which is looking at how humans interact with the soil, such as the impact of farming practices, effects of pollution on soil, plants, and groundwater. And environmental chemistry looks at chemical alterations to the environment through pollution. Okay, so our planet is divided into 4 systems. They are the geosphere, atmosphere, biosphere, and hydrosphere. The geosphere is the area from the surface of the Earth down to its center. So the area from the surface of Earth down to its center. There are 3 main parts. We have the crust, the mantle, and then the core. which is divided into two. The second sphere we're going to talk about is the atmosphere. This is the blanket of gases surrounding our planet. And contrary to popular belief, the atmosphere is made of more than just oxygen. And that was a definite miswriting. So the blanket of gases surrounding our planet. So the most abundant gas in the atmosphere is going to be nitrogen gas at 78%. And then we have 21% of our atmosphere is going to be made up of oxygen gas. The hydrosphere is all the water on Earth, including the water in the atmosphere, and the permanently frozen water in the cryosphere. (97% of the planet is salt water. So that means that only 3% is fresh water. And of that fresh water, we can find that fresh water in lakes, rivers, groundwater, and glaciers. One thing to note is that only a fraction of the fresh water is going to be in lakes and rivers. So most of it is frozen. Okay. And then the cryosphere is the region of permanently frozen water. The biosphere is all organisms on Earth and the environments in which they live. So most organisms are going to live within a few meters of Earth's surface. But as we can see from this picture, we do have organisms that live deep in the ocean, and we have some that will live high atop mountains. But all of these organisms are going to have to interact with the other systems of Earth in order to survive. Earth systems are interdependent. This means that they are interconnected and they rely on one another. If we look at this picture, I would like you to write down what interactions that you see between the systems in this picture. So we have our atmosphere here. Our atmosphere, I keep erasing it. We have our atmosphere, finally. And then we see the biosphere, the plants right there, probably animals living there also. The hydrosphere. And we also have the geosphere. So what interactions are you seeing in this photo? What are those arrows telling you? So take a moment to jot down some interactions. The study of earth science and the study of science in general has led to many discoveries that have solved society's needs and problems. The cool thing about technology is that it's transferable and can be applied in new situations. Here are some technologies that we can thank science and scientists for. Right here we have ski goggles. We have memory foam, which is heavenly. And we also have smoke detectors. All of these things, all of these technologies we have courtesy of our space program. So without our space program trying to come up with ways to keep our astronauts safe when they leave the planet, we would not have, I should say safe and comfortable when we leave the planet, we would not have any of these great technologies. Okay, so today we learned about the subspecialties of earth science and the 4 earth systems. We also looked at how science has developed technologies we use today. Have a wonderful day.